understand what does Chicago dish pizza? Because there's a lot of text message saying that do I know Chicago dish pizza? Since I'm trying to go aboard of learning the ropes of algebra and geography, geotechnical called me of saying the social media said you got the job in Chicago dish pizza. Well, Chicago dish pizza is only just five guys who understand what does stock market does for South Korean border when it comes down to South Korea. When it comes down to it, you have to understand K-pop. Since I don't speak that language, we have five essential. Number one, geography. Number two, algebra. Number three, um, data analyst. Number four, computer science. Number five, computer engineer. Those are the quality engineers that I want them to understand the quality technician. When it comes down to quality engineer, I've been doing quality engineer for the last 3 years for manufacturing engineer. But when it comes down to loading freights and loading boxes, I've been concerned about doing manufacturing engineering. When it comes down to software engineer, there is a lot of interviews that I did doing quality engineer, but there is no manufacturing engineer. So I've been told that I've been doing a lot of civil engineering work, but there was no such thing as a manufacturing engineer. So I've been doing interview for senior project architecture, planning. I'm doing AutoCAD again. When it comes down to AutoCAD, either you understand what does AutoCAD do for a living, or you understand what AutoCAD do. What does AutoCAD do for a living, or what does AutoCAD do for the architectural side? I do have a friend. Now he's married. He's trying to understand what does construction management do for a living. I've been texting him. I've been calling him, but when it comes down to it, it goes down to the environmental engineer. There's two sides of environmental engineer. They ask for EPA and OSHA, and the other engineer only understand what society does. So Chicago dish pizza would be a great idea to understand Chicago dish pizza. When it comes to Chicago dish pizza, do you understand what does EPA and OSHA does? I've been doing the civil engineering trial. I've been doing AutoCAD for quite some time, because after I graduated from civil engineering, I've been doing AutoCAD, and you have to understand what does AutoCAD do for a living. So I didn't do any software, because it does take some time to understand what is the floor plan, um, and what does the floor plan does, and what does the building do, and what does the structure analysis does. um well, as for me, I ended up doing environmental engineering. So when it comes down to environmental engineering, it does take some time to understand what does environmental engineering does for a living. So it does start with a retaining wall. It asks you what does the wall design do for a living, what is a slab, and what is a tier. But going back to civil engineering, what does concrete and steel concrete and steel design do for the retaining wall? So when it comes down to Chicago dish pizza, I've been doing each of the resources of getting to know what is the retaining wall, what is the foundation, what is the tier. And when it comes down to environmental engineering, it says it's like a waste of time. But after I graduate from civil engineering, it's just like a blog of AutoCAD. And when it comes down to AutoCAD, you have to understand what does the AutoCAD do for a living, what is the structure analysis, and what is the art form of the structure analysis, because usually it deals with houses, not buildings. So you have to be a little bit more open-minded of getting to know the AutoCAD and trying to understand what does AutoCAD do for a living, because five musicians are doing quality engineer, but trying to understand what does oil company do for a living. So when it comes down to like J and J, which is Johnson and Johnson. When it comes down to it, I've been doing EPA and OSHA, but it always got stuck on the tamale place. I don't know, because probably those language I don't speak English that much, so I'm trying to understanding what is the language of getting to know the Tamale, because when it comes to EPA and OSHA, they always keep calling me. They've been texting me, and they've been doing a lot of chemical engineering work. But when it comes to tamale place, you judge me on a chicken. I don't know what a chicken does for a living, but when it comes down to staff mark and the agency that I'm working in for the longest time, they're asking for three agency, and I haven't done any agency in a long time. One company called me for an inventory clerk, but when it comes to my sister-in-law, I think you should go into Chicago and New York at the same time. When it comes to down to it, I've been doing Las Vegas, and trying to understand what does Long Beach does for a living. But when it comes down to it, other people went to the San Diego side, and I don't understand what San Diego do for a living, because they've been doing construction management for quite some time, and they don't understand why. It's just like something about the oil rigs, and when it comes down to the oil rigs, it's always there, but they don't understand, which is pretty scary. So other people are joining into individual or in groups, but when it comes down to one oil rigs all the way from Chicago Dish Pizza, all the way from New York Pizza, they trying to understand what's a slab. When it comes to a slab and a tier, they're more focused on what does a slab do when it comes to a tier. And when it comes down to it, you judge me on all the way from a potato or a mashed potato all the way from Idaho or Iowa. So trying to understand what does San Diego do for a living, because when it comes to three designers, you judge me on going into nail technician for the last probably 1,000 years. So hopefully you guys understand what does two companies are running, and 4 or 5 agency are trying to understand what quality engineer does for a living.